When I did my first restaurant shop, I was super excited because I could bring whoever I want. And I wanted my family and my friends and also my kids to actually experience what it's like to be a mystery shopper because they were still like reluctant to believe you can actually be paid to go eat somewhere. Um, the one thing you want to make sure you do remember is that when you are doing a restaurant shop, the people that you bring most likely are not covered. Sometimes one person is covered, but the other people will have to pay out of pocket themselves, and your fees will only cover you, one other person, and then whatever you're going to be granted as a bonus for you actually doing the shop. I like to do restaurant shops when no one else have actually done them because a lot of restaurants in my area are it's the same restaurant over and over again, and that can become very boring. I don't want to keep eating the same food unless you look out of state. You can do out of state shops if you have the means to get there, but just note that with a restaurant shop, you have to make sure you are planning for the bill because it is not going to be covering 8 to 10 people. So, moving on to what to expect. The number one things in the restaurant that they always want to see and know about is the bathrooms. How is the bathrooms? Are they clean? Is somebody in there when you're in there? Are they checking off on the list? The server that you actually have, they want identifying information of the actual server. They want their names, how they look, did they have a uniform on? They also want you to always present receipts. That's how you get your money back with restaurant shops and other places where you're actually putting out money. And I'll explain what I mean by that. And then you will receive a detailed questionnaire, which is the shop form you have to fill out to submit with your receipts and maybe some pictures as well to get paid. So these are the things plus other stuff, but the most important things that most people tend to forget is they don't go to the bathroom or they go to the bathroom but they don't look around. And then when they get questions, they can't answer it because they have specific questions that can pretty much know if you win or not. And also for the server, they forget all about the server's characteristics or whatever, and then they can't pinpoint who they actually had to make sure they actually are telling the truth on their form. So, and receipts. People always lose the receipts and be like, I don't know. You won't get paid if you don't have your receipt. So, what I liked about the actual shop is for restaurants, you can go to a high end place, you can go to a not so fancy, but the quality of the food is always great. I never been to a restaurant shop where it was like, why would you ever want this place to be, mystery shop? So you don't have to worry about that. One of the best things that I have done before is when I went on vacation in another state. I checked out that state's mystery shops and I found a great restaurant that was actually high end that me and my husband went to, and I was able to cut our bill literally in half with what I received for actually shopping that location. So if you're planning to go somewhere or be in a different area, just always check to see if they have free food options because food you always want to eat, right? So why not get paid or get it for free? So how does this work? It's pretty self-explanatory as all other shops. You're going to apply, and then you're going to read, and then you're going to visit, and then you're going to get a payment. And I'll go into detail because there is some things in between when it comes to a restaurant mystery shop that you have to make sure that you remember, recall, and are able to recap so you can get payment. Apply. So make sure that whenever you are applying for a restaurant mystery shop, before you go, you get an email saying, hey, you have been assigned this shop. If you do not have an approved email, do not go because you will not get your money back for what you paid. With the restaurant shop, you will have to have money in your account to pay for the meals outright. They tell you how much you are going to be reimbursed, and that is how much I typically like to stay inside of that window. They will explain most times they want you to have an appetizer or an entree, maybe an alcoholic beverage. So those things you will pretty much get into the guidelines. But when you apply, you just really want to make sure you get that okay before you actually go. Now, when you get into the guidelines, as I was going into a little bit too fast about the appetizer, the alcoholic drink, the entree, maybe a dessert, they pretty much try to make the payment, I mean, the reimbursement amount, what all those things would equal out to. Maybe once or twice I received a shop and it was paying less than what they were requiring me to pay myself. So I wasn't getting reimbursed 100%. And then I did not apply for it. But then once I realized, and this is a pro tip, if a shop is not being completed, they will end up putting bonuses on these shops. So if it's still not equaling out to what you want because you're not getting reimbursed fully and have a little bit of money on the side, I always email the scheduler and say, "Hey, I will do this shop, but I need more money." And then they will say, "Well, how much more do you want so I can get it approved?" And most times they will approve. I've never once been denied an approval when I say I want more money. And because the schedulers are on the hook for these shops that they need shoppers to complete. So if they can bump up a little bit more of a bonus to make sure that you can go and do it, they will do that. In the guidelines as well, you want to also make sure you know where you are focusing your attention on. When you are in a restaurant, it's so much happening. People moving all around. Most times you have music, and then you have to look at the light fixtures, make sure there's no bulbs out or the floor is clean, depending upon what kind of establishment you're going into. The bathrooms, is there any rips or tears in the chairs? I mean, all those little things you would never care about when you go to a restaurant, you have to care about when you're doing this. So make sure you're reading those guidelines to see what your attention need to be focused on, but still try to enjoy yourself to not be so obvious that you're like staring the place down. Like, why is this person looking so intently at the chairs or the floors? You don't want to be spotted as a mystery shopper. The next one is the visit. Most time with a restaurant shop, they will ask for you to contact the establishment to make sure you know their hours. You can go on Google, Bing, wherever and see the information, but most times that information is not updated or is out or is just plain out wrong. So you want to always contact them because it will be in the guidelines as well to make sure you know what time it is, and you are not allowed to go within the last hour of that restaurant. So if the restaurant closed at 6 o'clock, you can't go at 5 because you can't go within the last hour. So you have to go at 4 and leave by 5. So that's one of the biggest things people need to understand as well. Again, in the guidelines, it will have that there, but that's a big thing. When you visit, just make sure you have everything prepared so that you can jot down little notes here and there. Also, in the restaurant, like many of my other shops I like to do, is use my cell phone as a recorder. So when I am talking to the server and she leaves or he leaves, I can just speak what I saw about the individual, recalling what the guidelines is asking of me, and also reviewing the shop form. I know what they're going to be requesting for me to fill out, so I can speak those things into the recorder while I'm having a meal with my family or friends, and then I can just go back to it to actually get everything input, because the worst thing you want to do is not be able to fill out a section of the form. That's an automatic no payment. So make sure that when you at this visit, you are prepared to get everything you need because you have literally a one shot at this. And then once you have that shop form filled out, you submit it over to your scheduler. She makes sure everything is indeed filled out to her liking. Thumbs up, she sends it over to the actual company. They do their due diligence, and then payments are given. For me, the companies that I have done them with, payment is always 30 days out. I have not had a restaurant shop pay sooner than 30 days. I have had fast food restaurant shops pay sooner than 30 days. So if you are a person who is looking to capitalize on doing restaurant mystery shops, just know that if you're using money for a bill or something, you're not going to get that money back in time to pay that bill because it's going to be 30 days out. I know many people like to try to supplement their income with doing mystery shops, but I would not do that with a restaurant one. I would do this with money that you have on the side that you are not putting it toward a bill, and then you can just utilize it and get reimbursed within 30 days. So I hope this video helped. Make sure you check out the link in my description, which will send you over to a get started with mystery shopping. Sign up from my email list. I will send you a 5-step guide to mystery shopping with really vital and important information, and also some starter companies you can start mystery shopping with to get your feet wet. Any questions, leave them in the comments. Subscribe for future videos, and thank you for watching.